So it's not news that Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook took down pro-Trump posts, anti-COVID jab posts, Trump himself, and a swath load of other things that were pro-Republican because obviously it is a very liberal company. But another major reason for their censorship was because the Biden administration freaked out at Facebook. Here we have a conversation between Rogan and Zuckerberg, and what Zuckerberg said about the Biden administration is startling. When Zuckerberg pushed back at the Biden administration's request for censorship, they started investigating into his companies. Sounds like blackmail, doesn't it?
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, this sort of class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then all these different agencies and branches of government basically just started investigating, coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Wow.
If everything he said is true, which I believe, it must have been a tough time for his company. But tough times really are the times you truly get to know someone. What should have happened is he should have grown a spine and make it more clear to the public who he was up against. He should have told the press, Biden is using government overreach to take down your own posts. You know how much more respect he would have had? But I'm still very iffy on Mark because he thought the government acted in good faith to save these kinds of people. And he didn't believe it was too political at the time. But anyone with 2 brain cells would have noticed they only used it for political reasons because they wanted an excuse to tell Trump he had blood on his hands for election purposes, then add the impeachments and indictments because they were chasing that negative label as if people would buy into that crap. But anywho, we have another clip, this time of painting Zuckerberg more into a bad light about the COVID jabs, and Rogan basically called him out on it.
If you go back to the COVID example, I think in that case, they were doing something. Their goal of trying to get everyone to get vaccinated was actually, I think, a good goal, right? It's
it was a good goal if it worked, if it was real, if it was a sterilizing vaccine, if it really did prevent people from getting COVID, if it really did prevent people from infecting others or transmitting it, but it didn't. It wasn't a good deal because it wasn't based on real data.
Yeah, but also even if it were, right? It's I think that still on balance, knowing everything that we know now, I still think it's good for more people to get the. But the government still needs to play by the rules in terms of, not you can't just suppress true things in order to make your case. So, I that's kind of my view on it is I'm not sure in that case how much of it was a personal political gain that they were going for. I think that they had a kind of goal that they thought was in the interests of the country. And the way they went about it, I think, violated the law.
Well, there's a bunch of problems with that, right? There's the emergency use authorization that they needed in order to get this pushed through, and you can't have that without valid therapeutics being available. And so they suppressed valid therapeutics. So they're suppressing real information that would lead to people being healthy and successful in defeating this disease. And they did that so that they could have this one solution. And this was Fauci's game plan. I mean, this is the movie American Buyers Club, or Dallas Buyers Club, rather. That's Fauci in that movie. That was with the AIDS crisis. This is the exact same game plan that was played out with the COVID. They pushed one solution, this only one, suppressed all therapeutics through propaganda, through suppressing monoclonal antibodies, all of it. And that was done, in my opinion, for profit. And they did that because it was extremely profitable. The amount of money that was made was extraordinary during that time.
Look, I don't mind the opinion that the government acts in good faith, but when you start to analyze the situation more, like Reagan said, if the government says they are here to help, run, because the people that run the government that aren't self-funded are doing policies and things that are at the best interest of their donors. I mean, look at all the money that's involved with pharmaceutical companies, with them donating to political candidates. And it's not just Democrats. Obviously, majority are. There's a reason why Biden and Kamala were donated the most by pharmaceutical companies. Should these drug companies be allowed to have skin in the game? These numbers are insane, and just like AIPAC, they are buying elections.